So the last thing I'd like to talk about is embracing the unknown. We like to think that we know what we expect in the minutes, hours, days, weeks, and months ahead. But to be honest, life is what happens when we're making other plans. Have you ever heard that saying? So we need to embrace the unknown in every step of our lives, every stage of our lives. Now, when I talk about the unknown, what essentially I'm talking about is stepping out of our comfort zone. So most of us live in our comfort zone, okay? But it's outside of our comfort zone that we find fulfillment, passion, success, self-discovery, purpose, fulfillment. And in our comfort zone, it's just mediocre. I mean, we may be safe, but we're going to keep ourselves from experiencing all these other things that we feel outside our comfort zone. Now, I need to talk about the issue of fear, because the reason that we all remain trapped in our comfort zone is because of fear. So what is fear? So I divide fear into two types. Fear can be actual physical danger, or it could be, psychological fear. So actual danger is when there's a real threat that you're being faced with. Say you're in the Amazon jungle and the jaguar shows up out of nowhere. That's actual physical danger. That's real fear, actual fear. If you're walking down a dark alley and someone pulls a gun on you, that's actual fear. That's real fear. But those are not most of what our fears are. Most of our fears are psychological fears, which means that they're created in our minds and actually have no validity and hold no actual threat to us. It arises out of fear of stepping out of our comfort zone. And that could be in our finances. For example, if you want to, say, quit your job and start a business or do something that you've always been passionate about. It could be in our relationships, such as being afraid to meet someone who you see across the room because you're afraid you're going to be rejected. Or it could be in the realm of our health. Learning new things, trying new things, changing your diet, taking on an exercise regimen, challenging your physician, challenging your doctor and saying, why don't you talk to me about nutrition? Why don't you talk to me about exercise? Why are you always just pushing all these pills on me? So in order to step into when I talk about embracing the unknown, I'm talking about stepping out of our comfort zone. And in my book, there's a whole chapter on overcoming fear, where I talk about how to overcome fear. The issue with fear is this. When you look at the whole spectrum of possibilities out of a decision you need to make that causes fear, you'll see that we always think about the worst possible outcome, the worst possible thing that can happen. But there's a whole spectrum of other possibilities that we could experience. And what we need to do is we need to look at that worst possible outcome and put it into perspective. Is the worst possible outcome really that bad? For example, let's just say that you're out somewhere and you see someone attractive and you want to meet them. What if you were to go up and talk to that person? What's the worst possible outcome? So he or she may not be interested in you, may not want to talk to you. So is that really so bad? Are you going to die? I mean, are you going to be embarrassed? Maybe. Are you going to feel rejected? Probably. Are you going to get over it? Yes, of course. A few days later, you will have gotten over that. You will be able to move on. So I'm just giving an example how fear keeps us from experiencing all these things: fulfillment, passion, success, financial freedom, and better health. You have to leave the city of your comfort and go into the wilderness of your intuition. Intuition resides within. We all have it. Very few of us actually experience it or utilize it. If you want something you've never had, then you've got to do something you've never done. That means stepping out of our comfort zone. I love this quote. One of my favorite, if at some point you don't ask yourself, what have I gotten myself into, then you're not doing it right. I've experienced this several times. And I can tell you that when I came out on the other side, I was grateful for taking those steps. Otherwise, life is mundane. Life is meant to be a glorious adventure. It's not meant to be lived safely. I'm not talking about taking unnecessary risks. I'm not talking about putting yourself in danger. I'm just talking about stepping out of your comfort zone. That's all I'm talking about here. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. Is that not true? Someone tell me that that's not true. It is only outside of your comfort zone that you grow. You won't grow if you stay in your comfort zone. I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to actually end with my model of reality, okay? So this is my model of reality. I started off this talk talking about how healing means embodying our multidimensional nature. So this is our multidimensional nature. Most of us know ourselves as physical beings, correct? That's how we all see ourselves. But we are also mental. We have a mental part of ourselves, and we talked about the mind. We talked about the subconscious mind. We have an emotional self. We have a vibrational self. And we have a spiritual self. Now, the spiritual self, when I talked about flow, I talked about our connection to everything and everyone. You know that you're living from your higher self or your spiritual self when you feel that connection to everything and everyone. And you know yourself as, you don't see yourself as separate from anyone and anything. Everything is an extension of you. And all of this is held in a greater container of the existential self. And I'm going to end here. Now, this is how you can get a hold of me. If anyone wants to contact me, this is my landing page. That's my email, my cell phone number. I do work with individuals. I offer free sessions, introductory sessions. If anyone wants to dive deeper into these issues around health, even around focus and productivity, around exponential success, I'm happy to talk to anybody. And I'm also going to be having a website up soon. This is just a landing page. And like I said, my book is available for pre-order on Amazon. It'll be released in September. And I thank you all for your attention. And I thank Mark again for giving me the opportunity to speak. Thanks.